I shouldn't be telling you this, but there is a magic formula that can almost guarantee your success in an amateur boxing match. This Cuban method has been used all the way up to Olympic champion, and it's something that you are going to need to know if you want to become an Olympic boxer. The premise is based around a particular attack to defend ratio, and I will give you that ratio so that you can start implementing this on the bag, when you're sparring, when you're training. Then you'll be able to translate this into competitive bouts. Now, there's no such thing that's going to guarantee that you're going to win a fight, but this is as close as you can possibly get to it. Hi, I'm Andy Wake, head coach at Boxercise. Over 29 years, I've taken 1,100 Boxercise courses, training over 18,000 people to do Boxercise myself, and been responsible for the development of 28,000. This is our YouTube channel. I hope you like it. Without any further delay, I'm going to tell you exactly what this work to rest ratio is. But first, I'd really appreciate it if you'd like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help out. Okay, so you're going to want a pen for this because this is so important. This is going to change the way you train forever. So the attack to defend ratio is 3-to-1, but we've got to be more specific than that. How long is the attack period for? 12 seconds attack, 4 seconds defend, then 12 seconds attack, 4 seconds defend. Now, let's go back into the classroom and discuss exactly how we implement this and how we can bring this into our training, because it is a lot more difficult than you think, and it is something that you're going to have to build up to. It's not something you're going to be able to do straight away. And why 12 seconds? I'll explain all of these things, and I promise it will change the way you train forever. Let's go to the classroom. So your limiting factor in this is going to be your ability to tolerate lactic acid. There's a certain time that you can go to before you pass what's called oxygen debt. This means that you can no longer pay back the level of oxygen that you're going to be working. And that time, at maximum energy output, occurs at around about 22.5 seconds, give or take. It varies from individual to individual. And your limiting factor is that you absolutely cannot attack for longer than 22 seconds. You can't do it. You're going to blow up if you do that. Now, when we translate this into our training, much though I would love to say to you that you can do this on sprints, it's plain and simple, you can't. You can't do it. And I would love to say to you, buy my sprint training program. We have a brilliant sprint training program that will help boxers, but it's designed to increase speed and power. It will not help you with this, despite the fact that I would love to sell it to you and say to you, the sprint training program is the answer to this. I've got to be honest with you, and I'll be honest with you first. It isn't the answer to this. This is not the sprints are too intense for you to be able to do at this level. So what you must do is you must incorporate this into other aspects of your training. Very, very difficult to incorporate this into sparring because someone who you're sparring with, we're using this work to defend ratio, it's going to feel like a physical assault. They're not going to want to spar with you too long for this. This is fight winning technique. This is not just, for sparring, which is practicing as such, which is, a learning experience. This is the kind of thing that you can do on your bag far more effectively than you can do on pads. So the bag is going to be the place that you're going to be able to do this kind of thing. That's going to be the premise of where you practice this. The other aspects of your training, you're going to focus on different things. Your sprints are going to focus on developing speed and power. Your strength training is going to focus on building speed and power and strength. Your endurance training is going to work on endurance, and your circuit training is going to work on developing your lactate threshold. So it's a case of working on all of these things. These are all good stresses to the body, and we need to have them all. We can't just have one stress in terms of making somebody faster. We can't have one stress in terms of just making someone have better endurance. That's not going to cut it. Boxing is an all-encompassing sport, and we need to be able to have all of those different things, all of those different aspects, all of those different stresses for us to adapt to and improve from. So when you put this into your training program, it's going to be the heavy bag that you're going to do this on, and also the floor to ceiling ball or double end bag if you're one of our American cousins. You can use it
perfectly well on there. Now, what does it mean by attack to defend? Well, attack is pretty bloody obvious. You all know what that means. But defend can mean several things. It can mean parrying, blocking, head movement. It can be covering up like this. And it can also be using your footwork to get out of the way. Do not forget that your footwork is a defense. Again, this is something, we have a great system. We have a footwork training system, which will teach you some fantastic footwork drills that you can use in defense. These things can all be used, but it's not just one way of doing it. But I'd suggest that what you do is you go into train in multiple different ways. So sometimes you go 12 seconds attack, and then 4 seconds cover up and defend head movement, and then you go 4 seconds attack, and then 12 seconds of attack, and then 4 seconds of moving your feet around, so jab and move, etc. So there are going to be different ways that you can do it, and you can move that stress from upper body to lower body so that you're not stressing any one particular part at any given time. Now, like I said, this method has been used and employed by the Cubans. I first heard about it myself from a Dutch coach who'd worked with an Irish coach who'd worked with the Cuban coach. So these things do get passed around, and these things are getting known. So if you want to get ahead of the game and actually get on with it, you're going to need to change your training now, because it's not going to be that long before everybody knows about these methods. They're not a secret. They're not just something that I have discovered myself. This is something that the international boxing coaches community are quite well aware of. And if you want to be competing at that level, well, then this is what you're going to need to do, because this is what's going to be coming at you. If you don't, if you're not doing this, it's going to be coming at you from your opponent. So you've got to make sure that you get this absolutely nailed. You attack to defend ratio is in that 3-to-1 ratio, and it's 12 seconds. Reason is at 12. Okay, the ATP system lasts around about 8 seconds, give or take. You cannot go beyond 22 seconds. You just can't. It's not possible. And what's been figured out is that this, from trial and error and measuring blood lactate levels, that 12 seconds on, 4 seconds defend, that works really, really well. And if you find that you're unable to do this, well, then what you need to do is to identify how many bursts of this you can do, and then put this into your training to actually then begin to increase the number of bursts that you can do. So you can stretch this out over 3 3-minute rounds, because you're going to need to. You are going to have to be able to do that if you're going to compete at that level, at elite level. So you're going to need to test yourself first, and see how long you can keep this up for, and then work on increasing it. And if you find that you're struggling with increasing it, look at the other aspects of your training. Are you doing circuit training? That will increase your lactate threshold capability. I have a really, really well-designed circuit that you're welcome to have. I'll email it to you for free. I'll put the link below, and you can take that thing for free and you can work on it. But I guarantee it is absolutely torturous, but it will increase your lactate threshold. And when I mean torturous, I mean people read it and they're scared of it. Just reading it scares people. So I'm happy to email that to you, and by all means you can crack on with it, and I promise it makes a difference. I promise it works. It works with many international boxers, but there are a lot of boxers that look at it and they are just terrified of the thing. So by all means, if you want to have a go at that, email. I'll put the link below, and you can do that. Well, I hope you found this video a little insightful and useful. Please do like and subscribe if you found this useful or helpful in any particular way. But that 12-to-4, that's the ratio. That's the golden ratio. That's what you need to do. That's what you need to incorporate into your training, and you need to begin doing it right now. Change your training, change the way that you're training right now, and make sure that you start doing that straight away. Best of luck with your boxing. I hope this helps.